My name is Wylie Sung. Competed in GPC and the BPU for a fair few years now, since 2015. That's when I started powerlifting. The abs is in the back of my head all the time because I know that the standards are different, the bars walking out. So we have been since January, been on a stiff bar, deadlifting, walking all my squats out, and I've sort of acclimatized to it now. So for me to like go back into deadlift bar the last couple of weeks is a bit strange, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the challenge and stuff and just test myself against these guys, walking out squats and wraps, stiff bar deadlifts. It's been around for a while now, isn't it? So maybe the last like couple of years. So I looked at that and I was like, I wasn't too sure what I wanted to compete again. I knew that that's like the biggest platform, right? And I want to get on there, but I wanted to make sure that I'm good enough to be there, that I can hang with these guys. Like, so I've always been like and ahhing whether I should try or not. But after last year, I think that was my best year in terms of my competitions and stuff. So I thought, you know, that's where I want to be. Test myself against these guys. All of them, I think it's so stacked. It's just a set of monsters, isn't it? Like Dupree, everyone. Luke Tolman, I've competed against him before in the past, but I think it was just like single lifts. I compete with Chris a fair few times, so it's always fun seeing the same faces. Nice guys I look up to as well. So for me to be able to hang with them, see how I do against these guys, it's really motivating. 9 for 9, obviously. Maybe like a 330 plus squat and wraps walked out. But I've only ever done that with a monolift and a squat bar, so it's hard to gauge where I'm at with that. I mean, I'd love to get like a 200 kilo bench. That'd be a massive milestone for me. Deadlift, even a 340 on a stiff bar. I don't want to say too much because, you know, I have too high expectations because I don't know what I'm going to be like on the day. I heard that pace is fast. Obviously swapping over to the new setting, the rules and stuff. So it just depends on what it's going to be like on the day. As long as I can mentally switch on. Definitely more pressure because it's like the biggest comp to date that I've done. But there's no pressure on me. Like I'm one of the lower ranked guys. I'm not daft in thinking like I'm gonna go and destroy everyone and things like that. Like I know these guys are like reigning champs, current champs. They're all really big hitters, you know. I see it as like this is like the UFC and I'm the prelim guy. So I ain't coming in here to chat shit about anyone. I'm gonna see how I do against these guys. But it is a fair bit of pressure on me, but not enough for me to be like, oh shit, if I miss this lift, you know? Like, for example, Dave, like being current champion before, things like that. There'll be a lot of pressure on those guys. These guys just do so well all the time. Oh, it's hard because it's like, the three guys is Nicholas, Dave, and Luke, right? So I can't pick out of them. Like they're all super strong, aren't they? Maybe Luke. He's the lighter guy, but he's got like the biggest lifts, right? So I'm thinking not the biggest lifts, but like in terms of pound for pound. So I think he could. And his training's insane at the minute as well. So he's looking healthy, he's looking good, looking fast. So like it says, it's hard to gauge between them three guys. Female, Laura, Stella, but then Sam Evans. I saw her compete the last couple of times and she's come out of nowhere and just ripped up these massive deadlifts, you know, and it always looks effortless. So yeah, hard to gauge on that one. On the deadlift, probably Laura. I think she's more experienced. Yeah, I'd say Laura. Oh, so like I did a year of bodybuilding. I competed in bodybuilding. And the aim was, I got third place, and basically my guys that were working with me were like, you're just too small, so you need to stack on some size. So I just did a load of compound lifts for a couple of years, and they were like, shit, why don't you do a deadlift only competition, because you're quite good at deadlifting? I was like, yeah, let's have a crack at that, see what it's like. Did Tattooed and Strong in 2015, and just got hooked on it. It was like locking out that 275 deadlift on platform. It was like taking a gram of MD and it just fucking hit me all at once. It was like nothing before, you know, like not having to sacrifice 14 weeks of dieting, being miserable, not seeing people, to stand on a fucking stage wearing underwear for someone to fucking judge me. Whereas I just rocked up, just doing what I love, lifting something really big, and then, oh, it was just such a fucking rush. It's like, so I've never went back. I was supposed to go back and then got hooked on that and then just stayed in powerlifting since. Been competing since 2015. So that was my first comp, the GPC Tattooed and Strong. Yeah. 1, 2, I'm gonna say 4 times. I've done it a fair few times now, yeah. It's one of my favorite comps because it's like, I'm shit scared of squats and we don't have to do that. It's just a push-pull. It's at a tattoo convention, so it's cool as fuck. You get a DJ, so you get your own little entrance music and stuff like that. So you feel like a WWE wrestler. But yeah, just the setup, everything is really good. So yeah, I always get quite excited for that. But I see abs is next level, right? So very much the same. Very excited for it. No, man, I want to do it regularly. But it would be a case of just making sure like I can afford it, keep winning and just saving up, do the next one. I mean, one of the biggest goals was me to try and maybe do Pro Raw, to get an invite for Pro Raw, something like that back in the day, but it's just like, man, fucking getting Australia is just horrendous, too expensive, and they'll probably stop me at the borders thinking I'm bringing in some sort of fucking Chinese beef jerky or some shit like that, you know what I mean? So I can't be asked for that, so yeah. I don't know, like I'm 36 this year, you know what I mean? So I do want to blast it for the next 4 years, and then like when my knees don't hold up anymore, you know what I mean? So I'll do as much as I can in the opens, and then I'll always compete, but probably not push it as hard when I get to 40. Yeah, it's massive. It's all that anyone really talks about, you know what I mean? So I don't know, when you're surrounded by people like that do it, like all your mates and stuff from the federation, you do it. Like, you know, Mike Jones, I train with them guys down in Plexus, and like he's doing it. It's just awesome to be around those guys, and they talk really highly of it. It's like, it's next level. It's just like, that's where you need to be right now and competing with that sort of standard and testing yourself. But sometimes I could do comps where there's not anyone there for me to compete against, and it doesn't get my dick hard, you know what I mean? I show up and it's like, I just try and hit a PB. I think I need to have that sort of element of being the underdog, having loads of guys above me, underestimating you, and just that's what really gets me going. Prove myself. I did Irish Pro that year. It's pretty sad. It was me, Dale, Chris, Mike Jones, Alan Wilson, Tom Martin was supposed to do it, but I don't think he had to pull out. There's a fair few of us. It was really good fun. That was my first ever cash comp back in 2018, I'm gonna say. Yeah. No, that was at the gym. That was at, yes, that was at the gym. Yeah, good comp. I had a really good time there. But like that one was, yeah, it's decent. For me, actually, it's just like, I know that there's guys that could creep up on, I know it'd be close maybe, but I don't ever put myself up there. I'm here and I'm always chasing. I always want more for myself. I don't ever try and say I'm here because I think I might get comfortable with it, and I don't want to overlook anyone. So it's better for me just to be like, I'm here and I'm gonna chase all you guys. I'm gonna fucking prove that I'll fucking take you away. So it is and it isn't. Like if I didn't compete, like I think it's quite boring. So it's like I wouldn't have anything to train for. I'd just be training because I like it, but at the same time I'll just get bored pretty quick. So I have to have something to aim for. And there was a period for a while then I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep competing powerlifting. I don't know if I'm gonna coach anymore, because I wasn't too fussed. But like recent years, I've working with Alex, I've really sort of come out of my shell a little bit more, and seeing ABS, I was like, that's the goal. That's where I want to be. So that was why I wanted to work towards. So always striving to just be under to try and catch up with everyone else. I'd say probably backed up by the training, but like I'm a Chinaman, man. I'm tight as fuck, and I love cash. You know what I mean? Cash is king, so I want to go there for the motivation of like getting all that money. You know what I mean? At that point, it'd mean more than the money. That would mean definitely more than the money for me, because it's like I've proved something. Even if I didn't win it, to be on the podium mean a lot to me. A lot more than I think. I'm very driven by the money at first, and I'm up against these guys, I'm not gonna win, I'm gonna do that. But if I get on there, it'll probably push my training for the next year, for the next comp, even more. Because I feel like, well, I can be there. But we're only gonna know on the day. Like, no point saying you're gonna do this or do that. Like Lenny said that before, like, you'll come and you'll talk, but you don't back it up. So I've just gotta make sure that I can keep with the pace, not fucking around with my warm-ups, and just power through the sessions and keep up. Missing a lift, it really depends what it is. I think if I miss squats, it's gonna really fuck with my head, because that's the one I worry about the most, scared of the most, because my knee and stuff like that. Even though it's like a major injury and stuff like that, I did that over lockdown, so I couldn't squat for like 9 months. But for me, that was always like, in the back of my head, like, I'll go, oh, Nat, I felt something on my knee. It's like, shut the fuck up, just put that weight on it and just fucking do it. So if I miss something on squat, it might set me back, but Nat knows how to handle me with Alex, so it should be fine. If I miss bench, it is what it is. I know that's my shittest lift. I don't fucking care about bench anyway. And then I just need to make up with the deadlift. It's like last time when I was competing, I knew that I could push a little bit more on the bench, but am I gonna waste that energy try and go for that? Or I'm gonna bank on my deadlift and just sack off my last bench, save myself and just go for the bigger deadlift, and that's what I did. So I'll bank on my deadlift. I don't think I'm gonna miss my deadlifts. I don't think so. I always open really conservative and then take a bigger jump. And I'm the only Chinaman that can't do maths. So I've got Nat and I've got Alex, and they'll just stand there, work out themselves with a calculator or abacus, and they'll tell me what I need to do and I just fucking do it. They always make the right calls anyway. Yeah, because he does tell me, like, it's not gonna be like the comps you used to do. You know, you're not gonna have all that rest that you keep liking. You are literally going back to back in everything you're gonna do. So I've got a bit more intel from that, from him, Mike Jones, things like that. But I don't know. We'll just have to see on the day, won't we? You know what? I've not thought that deep into it, because you know when things are just so far ahead, I'm just not gonna bother even putting that in my head that I could. But if I do creep up though, and that's what sets my mindset to a different level, and I get really competitive, and that might drive my deadlift. It's like I said, like my last comp, like the last British I did, I was only going to go there and just hit some PBs for myself, and then as soon as I got a whiff that I've got a chance to win here, I just went fucking nuts. And my last deadlift was, I did 320 in the gym, and Nat just put 352.5 because he says you've got to do that to beat Reese, and he put it and I just did it. And I possibly could have a little bit more in there, but it was the total mind change of going, you need to do this to win, and you can win. So if he misses his bench or he doesn't put it together, and I somehow, like a miracle, managed to do it, yeah, I think I could have a good chance on that deadlift. It's always been about competing against myself and just getting pissed off about myself as a lifter, wanting more for myself. But there's another avenue of it where I get very motivated by seeing someone I look up to, and these guys that are so much bigger, pulling up these big totals, well known, and for me to take a name, you know. But like, I don't know, I really like Lenny. He's never really talked any shit about me. I've never really said anything about him. We message quite a lot. He's a really fucking good guy. But yeah, I think the pressure will be on him though, right? He's got to do it. It's in his backyard. Not gonna lie, I'm shitting myself going over there, but it'd be interesting. But I think he's so driven. I think that might motivate him to just fucking get what he needs to get to beat me. I've only ever heard positive stuff. I mean, toughest platform, biggest cash prize, and yeah, really good setup, really well ran, and that's what you want at a comp. Not fucking turning up at 8 to lift, and then finishing at like 7 o'clock at night, you know. So, and at the end of the day, as a lifter, you should always strive to compete against the best. Even if you ain't gonna beat those guys, you want to be competing with those guys. Like, no one wants to be a fucking, like, a shark in a fish tank, you know what I mean? Like, so I've only ever heard good. It's always promoted really well.
Keeps people away from it.
What?
People don't want to test themselves. People are
You're trophy hunting. But then, even then, like, if you're a trophy hunter, right, you will get tired of that. You are going to have to chase for something more, because once you keep getting those like little medals and stuff, where are you going to go next? or you're just going to be like, I'm not motivated, or you know, I'm just going to take the same title over and over again because no one else is going to be there. You're going to have to find something that's going to boost you even more to compete. I don't know, I just don't get that mindset. I don't get the whole want to be the biggest there and just never show up and compete against the best of the best.
I feel like the abs platform is the next step for some.
Yeah, for sure. I know that's where I want to be. That's why I'm there. Oh, you fucking hate records, this guy. You know he's gonna ask me that. Yeah. Records are dog shit. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I do agree with you. It's just like, this thing is just powerlifting. It's fucking pretty diluted, right? It's like all these different weight classes, different bars, walkout, monos, so many federations, 24-hour weigh-ins, all that stuff. It should just be fucking weigh-in on the day, no rehydration. It should be all on a fucking deadlift, stiff bar, and use a mono, no walkout. That's how I think anyway. And obviously with a down command, start and re-rack. But it's never gonna be like that. So you're always gonna get like, I'm a champ at this, I'm a champ at that. I'm a champ at bareback knee squats and shit like that, you know what I mean? So you can call yourself a record holder, this and that, but is it as legitimate compared to if it was just one? Same as boxing. Nobody cares if you're fucking WBO this. Everyone wants to be WBC champ. Or everyone wants to be like the UFC champ. You know, it feels like it's almost like all these feeder shows, like the Cage Warriors, Bellator, and all these things that was going to feed up to the bigger show. And that's what I feel like ABS is. Like you said, so you want to see guys battle against each other to be the champion of that year. Like a tournament, innit? A bit like Pride Tournament back in the day when it was like MMA. Everyone against everyone, fucking lightweights against heavyweights. Yeah. All in one night, no fucking around. Champ's champ, innit? But I suppose like, it's so different to I've been there. Like, it gives me something to work towards. You know what I mean? I wanna, yeah. I don't want to bash people with records, that's not what I'm saying, but it's like, it gives someone to work towards, and if that's what's motivating them to keep them active and staying healthy and moving, I'm all up for that. Like, it can deflate your motivation on the day when you see that though. I know that I do that sometimes where if I show up, it's like, there's only like 2 or 3 guys in my class, so I know one of us is going to place on the podium. It's not as motivating. I totally get what you mean. The stackers Chinaman on the day. I'm gonna, fuck it, I don't know. It's just always a case of seeing what happens on the day. I know that I'm just gonna bring my best, and it's normally good enough. I know that I'm not gonna be the biggest lifter there, but you can never underestimate the work ethic of a Chinaman. You know, all those years in the sweatshop, it's gonna fucking pay off. So, you know, I think I'm ready for a long slug. So, it'll be good.